Welcome to the Lisa Design YouTube channel. This is all about my designs, all about Lisa Designs. I'm Liz, I'm the designer and the creator of all of Lisa Designs, and hopefully I'm here to help. So I am making a video today of the new Chloe clutch that I've designed. I've designed it for me because I am going to a wedding in November and I needed a clutch. So I decided to make an in the hoop clutch. I used an 8x12 hoop and I made it basically near enough for all of the bag in one hooping, and I kept it as a flat design, added everything that I needed to it, and then added a sewed up the seams using a 4x4 hoop, which is very simple. Then I was asked by the ladies in my group if I could make it into a smaller hoop, so I made the same size clutch into a 7.9 by 7.9, so 8x8 hoop, and I've got that on Etsy right now. And now I've been asked if I can make it fit a 6x10 hoop. So this has been quite challenging because I needed to get the measurements exact. And it's now gone from a one hoop design up to 3 hoops because there's 3 parts. No, that's the set. There's 3 parts to the bag. You've got your front flap, you've got the back, and also the front. Now the good thing about having it in the 6x10 hoop and having 3 sections is that you can make it dual colour. So I've used a gold, a mustard and a caramel on this purse, whereas the 8x12, which is this one, is made in one hooping, so it's all the same colour. The 7.9, the 8-inch one, is used using 2 hoops, so it's a 2 colour. So this is all one colour, and then the flap is added. So today I'm going to show you how to do the 6x10. The first 2 parts of both the front and the front 2 parts, which is the flap, this part and this part, is literally 2 steps. So I've put them in my big hoop now, but just pretend for now that it is your 6x10 hoop. I'm just doing it to save time because I've got to go out, but I did promise that I would get this video done today, so that's what I'm doing. So basically you stitch your outline onto the stabilizer. Okay, so that's what I've just done in my big hoop, and then you remove your hoop from the machine, turn it over and put your lining fabric on, put your hoop back in, tape it in place, put your hoop back in, and then lay your vinyl on the top as well. But to show you what I use as my lining fabric, now I'm using this leather cloth. I get it from eBay and it is very thin, but it has a lovely finish. It's like a smooth grain leather, I suppose, but instead of it being from animal, it's man-made, so it's got like a cloth back, very thin. And I'm also using leatherette, which is the same, but it's got a different backing and it's slightly thicker. But you can use vinyl or you can use felt on the inside, but just be aware that if you use your vinyl or leather cloth, that it might get stuck to the plate of the machine. So I recommend personally getting some talcum powder and just putting some talcum powder over your hands and then running your hands over your cloth so that it doesn't get caught. It's a very good tip, and it saves your stabilizer as well. So now I'm going to show you how to go about doing this design here. So fingers crossed my camera doesn't conk out. Is it still running? Yes, it is. Okay, so I'll try and stop waffling and put my USB in the machine all ready to go. Okay, so let's move the camera down slowly and let's go closer to the machine. Okay, and then then we'll move the camera down. Okay, so now you can see my hoop, and this is the flap and this is the front. So I'm going to add the lining paper now. So stitch your, pretend this is your 6x10, stitch your placement, it'll be that way round. Stitch your placement and then do exactly what I've just done here. Remove your hoop from your machine and turn over, and then you need to add your backing fabric, whichever you want, in the inside of your purse, your clutch, and tape it in place. This is really quick, but you'll wow everybody when you show them your clutch. I mean, I took my clutch to work to show the ladies at work because they love seeing what I've made anyway and what I've designed. Just put some talcum powder on that because I know it's going to stick. And they were absolutely wowed. They're like, I can't believe you designed that and you've made that and you're selling this design so other people can make it and make them look really clever as well. I said, well, that is exactly what I love doing. I love coming up with new designs and then making you all look very clever. Okay, so let's have a look what we've got here. I've got some brown, and another brown. So I think I would like that to be my flap, that to be my back, and that to be my bottom. So let's cut it out now. It'll be, that's going to be the bottom, did I say? I think so. So it needs to be a little bit bigger. There we go. Right. So that's going to be the bottom part, and that's going to be the top part. That's going to be the back. Okay, now let's do this. I've separated this for my own convenience, just so I can show you. So make sure your top and your bottom thread are matching, are the same. So we're just going to stitch these two together now. And all it's doing here is adding a little guide for you to add your closure, so your snaps or your bag closure. I'm going to do exactly the same and just stitch this one out. So I'll keep it running, place it over my guide. just caught it there. And then it's going to put the guide at the top. Hold on, we've got a thread come out there. Let's pull that back and re-thread that. It'll still put enough stitches that I can see where it's supposed to go. Okay, so both these sides now are done. So now I'll remove this and I'll cut these out, and then I'll get my smaller hoop, which is a 6x10, which is the hoop that you should be using yourself if you're doing this design, and I will show you how the next part goes. Okay, on to part 3 of the 6x10. So I've just stitched out the placement for the back part of the bag, and I need to add the lining to it. So I need to turn it over and add the lining to the placement. Tape it in place so it doesn't move. Put it back on the hoop and it will stitch out the pocket placement. This is the same for, oh hold on, it's just come out. This is the same for all of the sizes. So if you're doing the 8x12, obviously you'll be doing the whole design, and then it'll be that way around, and you'll be adding the pocket placement exactly the same as what I'm doing now. The only difference is this design has been split up into 3 parts, and the 8-inch one has been split up into 2 parts. Remove the hoop from the machine again and turn back over, and you can see that it's given us a placement for the pocket. So I'm going to trim off these little tie off knots because I don't want these tie off ends. Get rid of all of them, and then you either add a piece of vinyl that's got a straight edge over the placement tops of the pockets like that, or you add a piece of the lining that you're using and you fold the edge over. So this is what I am going to do. If I can find my tape, because I'm folding it over, I'm going to use a little bit of double-sided tape It's just the thin stuff that you use in card making. So I'm going to put that over the top, like so. I'm not worried about the needle going through it because it's only going to be 1 or 2 stitches in 3 places. So it's not going to come up my needle. It's not as if it's going through the whole lot. Come on. Here we go. So I'm going to fold that over, and that will give me a lovely straight folded edge for my pocket. And then I'm going to lay that over there, and again I'm going to tape it in place. See, the gummed edge will be here and here, so it's only going to be there, there and there that the needle goes through it. So I'm not worried about it at all. Put that bit up there. And a little bit over there. Now, I don't want the this leather cloth getting caught, dragging on my machine. So what I do is I put a little bit of talcum powder on my hands, rub it in my hands, and then rub my hands over the vinyl or the leather cloth, because I do find that this stuff squeaks and goes as it goes through, and as it does that, it makes the straight stitches go at an angle like that. So if you find that yours is doing that for any design that you do from any designer, I have that tip for you, and it's a great tip. So let's stitch this down. Now that the pocket's done, we need to remove the excess from the pocket. Just make sure that doesn't come out. So I'm going to get my applique scissors. Where are they? They're not there. Where are you, scissors? There they are. Right, here we are. Right, so we're going to carefully remove the excess from the pocket. We're not going to cut too close. I'm trying to keep everything in the eye of the camera so that you don't miss anything. So that's why I'm having to cut up here. Usually I cut on my desk. Okay, that's good enough for me. Let's remove this tape, trim up the ends. You don't want these little tails looking unsightly. There we go. We'll put them up there so I don't lose them. Right, so now that we've done that part, we're going to add the top, which is this brown fabric, and make sure that it is big enough to cover everything. Right, that part is finished. So now all we need to do is add the flap and the front to the bag. So this is the flap and that is the front. So we're going to put the corner of this into the corner of where the needle is sitting right now, and make sure, just keep upping and lowering your needle until it goes in the right place. Okay, and then make sure that this is sitting over this stitch line here. Get a little bit of tape and tape it in place. Hopefully it doesn't catch on the needle. Okay, so that's all you need to do. And now we are going to add the front of the design to this. Oh, I haven't cut these bits out. 1 second. Where's my scissors? Right, okay, yes, I forgot. When you cut this part out, on all of the designs, you've got this little section here, which is the little flaps. I don't want you to cut that out. All I want you to do is snip it like that, so that you've got these little extra bits. It says in the PDF as well, just to keep them, these little bits on here, I want you to keep these. All will be revealed in a second. Right, so we need to add this to this, and we need to do it face down. Now at the moment this flap is in the way, so we need to push this flap out of the way, and just heard my lunch ping. Lower the needle into the top of the stitch line like you did before, and then make sure that this part of the stitch line is sitting over this as well, and then again tape it in place. You can never have enough tape, so don't worry about over taping it, because it just does the design more justice if you are able to stitch it out and it doesn't move for you. So pop the stitches, pop your tape down. Okay, let's stitch this down. I'll stop waffling. The last step you don't need to do. It's just to move the needle out of the way. Otherwise it will want to finish the design in the finishing position, which is the centre of the hoop, and it might drag and pull your design out of the hoop. We don't want that, so I add an extra step, so just ignore that. So now this is this part of the design is finished. Now I will show you how to add the seams, sew the seams up now. I'm going to cut it out of the hoop first. I'm going to get it out of the hoop and I'm going to cut it, and I will show you the next step in a minute. This is the cutout bag, 3 sides, 1, 2, 3, and 3 different colours. and these are the inside pockets. So now I'm going to show you how to stitch up the side seams. Now you'll see that I've still kept this in here, and you'll see the reason why in a minute. What we need to do is put the edges together like that, corner to corner, and when you're going to stitch down the edge, these seams will be on the inside of the bag, and this is how you do it. So first of all, you stitch out placement for the 2 lines. You will see my hoop, I must have knocked it out. My hoop has got some tape down it. Now because I've been making this bag over and over and over, I don't want to keep having to put new stabiliser in here. So what I do is, when I've finished, I put a piece of masking tape over it so I can do it again. And I've used this now, I think I've made about 10 bags. And I'm still using the same piece of stabiliser. So that's a good tip. Just come out again. And lift up. That's it. Maybe I need to put a fresh in my needle. I'll put a fresh needle in after this one. Okay, so edges go together, corner to corner, and push this little flap out of the way, and you're going to be stitching down the edge of the bag. So we're going to put these corners to corner, corner to corner, lower your needle into the top corner, and then put your stitch line over your stitch line guide. Make sure that they're both sitting nicely. I can see that this one is just sitting a little bit lower, and if it's sitting lower, when you turn the bag out, these will be a different height from each other. So we need to try and make sure that they sit exactly the right. There we go, in the right position. And I'm going to put a bit of tape over it as well. As I said, you can never use never enough tape. Move that flap out of the way. And then it'll go over to this side. Yeah, I definitely need to change my needle. Let's cut that. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I reuse this hoop. Just take all this tape off because I don't need it on there. Oh, thank you very much, whoever's just bought a design. Right, so that's all I do, look. Pull it off, and then it's ready for another one. So I will have a little bit of tape to extra thread to remove from that, but that's it. Okay, so then we're going to do it again. Match the sides up. See that I've cut that one a little bit too high. There's a corner on this, so I'm going to nip that corner off, so that'll confuse me. It's not cut straight enough, that's all. Let's move that. Right, let's put these corners to corners. Make sure that they're sitting over the top of each other correctly. Lower that corner, the needle down into that corner. That's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We'll see if we can use this little bit of tape here. Okay, let's thread this down, stitch this down. And again, I've added an extra step here to stop the bag going in the finishing position, so we don't need that. So we're just going to remove it from the hoop, remove the tape, and then we're going to turn it out once we've tidied all this up. I'll get rid of all these little ends, threads. Because I don't need any of these. Cut that off. Delete that. What's that? Get rid of all them bits. Okay, that's okay. Get rid of them tie-off knots, tails. Okay, so we've kept these bits for a reason. When we turn it out, there's going to be a little bit of a gap there. These fill the gaps in, so I've just found that it's easier just to keep them in. So we're going to turn this out, push the corners. There we go, there's one, and there's the other one. There we go, we haven't got no gap. Okay, and that is the bag finished for that part. All I need to do now is add the bag closures. You'll probably notice that I've used a different sort of bag closure, and if I can get the camera to move over without conking out, I'll show you how to do it. So bear with me. Okay, so I haven't managed to disconnect the camera, so I'm going to show you how to add these to the bag. They are super easy and they look beautiful. Okay, so in my group I showed them how to add these bits, and I've also found that you can close it a different way as well. Look, you can do it that way as well. If you wanted to put some fabric over that, you also could to hide it, but I'm not worried about it. So I'm just going to show you how to add this today. The easy way that I've found is easiest for me. Right, so the first part we're going to do is we're going to add this part here. Right, so these are called, I think they're called twistlocks for bags. I chose this this particular style of bag because the bag that I made for myself is obviously for the wedding, and I know I'm going to blubber like a baby. So I didn't fancy having the noise of poppers. When you open a popper, it goes pop. I didn't really want that, so I found these on Amazon, and they don't make a sound when you open your bag, which is perfect for what I want. So I'm going to show you how to add them to your bags, and then you can wow people as well. Okay, so this twist lock comes in 4 parts. Okay, so these two go together, same shape, and these two go together. This goes on the front of your bag, and this goes through the through this part here. Right, okay, I'll stop waffling and I'll show you. Right, so stand these proud and straight. Okay, so make sure that they're nice and straight, they're not bent in. Place that over the cam snap hole that I've put on the design, because if you're not using cam snaps, obviously you don't need this. And use these little prongs to give you a guide. So put the hole, the cam snap hole in the middle, and just push down, and it'll give you a little guide. And then do the same the other way around as well. Make sure it's in the middle. Okay, so now I've got 4 little guides, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to use them guides to make a square. And I'm going to use my craft knife, and I'm going to cut them out. One there. Mind your fingers when you do this. Obviously you're using a craft knife. so you don't want to cut yourself. Okay, so that part's done. All we need to do is add this to this, turn the bag over, make sure that it's nice and straight. Can you see that it's nice and straight? You can add a dab of glue if you wanted to, use some fabric glue or anything, but you don't need it. And then you add the back. Oh, you didn't even see that, did you? Right, as if by magic. Right, so this is the backing of this. So make sure it's nice and straight, and then add the back to it. The two prongs are standing upright at the moment, so we push these down, and then we use a little hammer and give it a tap down just to stop it from opening. And that is the first part done there. Okay, see? Right, second part. So I'm going to put this over this, and I'm going to see the other guide, which is right there. I'm going to make sure that that is in the centre of this part here, so I can see it in there. And I'm going to get this part here. I'm going to straighten up these prongs because the prongs are a little bit bent, if you can see. Straighten the prongs up, and then I'm going to push it in here down. Right, so that's pushed in. That's given me two little guide holes there, little dents. Use my craft knife and very carefully just give myself a little slit. I need two slits because there's two prongs. Okay, and then all you do is you push that in there like that. Okay, once that's pushed in, turn the bag and you can see the inside of the bag. And then I'm having the cream side out on my bags, and then you can either push them out that way, so the legs are out, or you can push it in. I'm just going to push it in just to show you, and then for added I'm just going to do it a tap as well, just so they don't move. And that is it. That is all there is to the bag, and that is the finished one. So this is a 3-tone bag. I actually really like it. I really do like it. 3-tone bag. So there you go. So this is the 8x12, the 6x10, and that's a 6x10, and that one is, this one here is the 7x9, the 7.9 by 7.9. So you can see they're all the same size, but they just use a different hoop. So I will be adding this 6x10 to my Etsy shop very soon. Hope you've enjoyed watching my little tutorial on how to do the design. You can see it's just taken 40 minutes. It's taken me 40 minutes to show you how to make it, but it should take you that long because you're not going to be waffling to yourself like I do. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.